What the Lord did in Mary's life and in the life of the disciples, the supernatural transformation that they experienced, He wants to do in your life as well. The one who is calling you, He knows you by name. In episode 1 of The Chosen, Mary Magdalene is suffering severely under demonic possession and oppression. Mary comes to the end of her ropes. She's under so much torment. She even contemplates taking her own life. But all of that changes when she encounters Jesus.
He said, leave me.
It's not for you.
Don't touch me. Oh.
Lily.
Demon possession was a big issue in the first century, and a big part of Jesus' ministry was casting out demons. We read about this in Luke chapter 8. Jesus heals Mary. He casts out 7 demons from her, but it doesn't really go into any detail about how he was able to do this. It's the only verse that talks about Mary's healing in the entire New Testament. But we get some greater insight. In Luke chapter 11, he says this: "If by the finger of God I cast out demons, then the kingdom of God has come upon you." When Yeshua Jesus says he casts out demons by the finger of God, there's such deeper significance and meaning in that statement. The finger of God points to his redemptive power. When God raised up Moses to deliver the children of Israel out of Egypt, he was to take them out with great signs and wonders. The first miracles the Egyptian magicians were able to counterfeit, but when it came to the third miracle, the plague of the lice, they had to admit that this was none other than the finger of God because they were not able to copy it. So when Yeshua Jesus says he does this miracle by the finger of God, it's pointing to him as the greater than Moses who comes to bring a greater revelation and salvation and freedom for you and for me. And what's ironic about it is that the Egyptian magicians were able to recognize the finger of God, but the Jewish religious leaders in Yeshua Jesus' day, they missed it completely. The finger of God also points to God's revelation and his authority. After leading the children of Israel out of Egypt, they come to Mount Sinai. There's fire, there's thunder, there's smoke on the mountain. They hear the voice of God speaking the 10 Commandments written on 2 stone tablets. And how are they written? They are written by the finger of God. The finger of God points to the power and authority in the voice of Jesus. All Yeshua Jesus had to do is use one finger, speak one word, and the demons came out. It shows us the power and authority in the person and in the voice of Jesus. There was more power in his one little finger than there was in all of the religious leaders of his day and even throughout all of history. The finger of God also points to God's creative power and his care. Psalm 8:3-4 says this: "When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you have established. What are human beings that you are mindful of them? Mortals that you care for them." God created the world by his fingers, by the power of his hands. And Yeshua Jesus only needed one finger to drive out demons. Casting out the demons from Mary Magdalene points to his care and concern, not only for her, but also for you and for me. When he touches us, our life completely changes. What the Lord did in Mary's life and in the life of the disciples, the supernatural transformation that they experienced, he wants to do in your life as well. The one who is calling you, he knows you by name.